Approaching women in bars can be a challenging task for many men, especially those who lack confidence and don't have much dating experience or experience in the dating scene. Bars are often crowded, they're noisy, they're filled with attractive women who are surrounded by their friends. They're filled by attractive women that are surrounded by their friends, and this scenario can be intimidating and overwhelming for some guys. However, approaching women in bars can also be a great way to meet new people and potentially find a romantic partner. The key to success comes when approaching women in bars is if you want to do that, you want to have a respectful and confident approach. You can go a little bit crazy later, but women appreciate men who are genuine, respectful, and confident without being arrogant or pushy. A respectful approach shows that you value her as a person rather than just another conquest. Confidence demonstrates that you're comfortable with yourself, which is an attractive quality that many women look for in a partner. The first hurdle when it comes to approaching women in bars is simply getting noticed. With loud music, dim lighting, dozens of people vying for her attention, it can be challenging to stand out from the crowd. Furthermore, many women come to bars with their friends as they enjoy each other's company while trying various drinks. So, another challenge is finding the right balance between being confident and not appearing arrogant or pushy or, out of the norm, right? So, many men make the mistake of coming on too strong or making inappropriate comments right away, which will not only turn off most of the girls, but it might lead them into leaving the bar altogether. Like, girls, let's go, right? So it's super important to be respectful. This includes showing respect towards women's boundaries, concerning their personal space and time. Confidence is also an essential quality because it signals that you're comfortable with yourself and your identity. It's another trait that many women find highly attractive. So, it's essential to show yourself that you're confident while still being open to other perspectives and ideas. So ultimately, by having a respectful approach, you're going to increase the likelihood of making good impression on women at bars in general. Especially when you're getting started, this is going to make them open up. It's going to get them more engaging, and you're going to have a lot more conversations and possibility, and even potentially establishing a connection. So if you prepare to go out to a bar with the intention of meeting somebody, it can be a little nerve-wracking. But a little preparation can help calm your nerves and increase your chances of success. First impressions are pretty much everything, unless it's later in the night and they're hella drunk. So make sure you dress appropriately for the occasion. Doesn't mean you need to show up in a suit, unless it's your style. But it does mean dressing in something that makes you feel confident and attractive in the place that you're at. If you're not sure what to wear, do some research. Check the bar's dress code on the website or check out photos of the venue online. You can look up on Instagram for people who tag themselves there on the same nights that you're going so that you can kind of see what's going on inside. Once you get the outfit sorted, then make sure you're groomed well. It's essential when you're approaching girls at the bar. Make sure you're, shaved or trimmed up well, and then have your hair styled the way that you want to have it styled. Makes you feel good. Additionally, you can put on some cologne aftershave before heading out. Don't overdo it. Do the whole spray and walk into it thing. If you have an overpowering scent, it's going to have the opposite effect. Posture and body language are also key components with women at bars or anywhere else really. Standing tall, good posture makes you appear more confident and attractive. Conversely, slouching or hunching over can make you seem uninterested and maybe even unapproachable. Additionally, pay attention to your body language throughout the night. Try not to fidget too much, don't cross your arms defensively, as these habits could signal disinterest or discomfort. Nobody wants to talk to somebody who doesn't want to be there, right? So maintain an open posture, keep your arms relaxed at your sides when possible, and don't forget to smile. Approaching women in a bar can be nerve-wracking, but it doesn't have to be. The key is to approach her with confidence and respect. Before approaching her, it's important to make eye contact and smile. This will go much better on when you're doing more direct stuff later, but get that. It shows her that you're interested, it shows her attention without being too aggressive. If she smiles back or holds eye contact with you for a couple of seconds, that's a good sign she's open to talking. Starting the conversation can feel intimidating, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple and friendly by asking a question or making a comment about something in your environment. For example, you could ask her what drink she's having or mention how much you like the music playing in the background. Starting with a lighthearted comment or question will help break the ice and get the conversation flowing. When it comes to approaching women in bars, it's important to be genuine and respectful. Don't try to use cheesy pickup lines or gimmicks, because they often come across as disingenuous or even creepy. You can expand your repertoire later as you learn to calibrate, but especially in the beginning, go super vulnerable, super open. Focus on being yourself, have an honest conversation with her, and then respect her boundaries by not being too pushy or aggressive with your advances. If she seems uninterested or uncomfortable at any point during the interaction, just take a step back. Let her continue enjoying her night out. Maybe you might be able to reapproach her later, or she might loosen up a little bit and get out of the dance floor, and you can find a different way to go about it. As far as conversation tips, ask open-ended questions. One of the most important things to do when approaching a woman in a bar is to start a conversation with the open-ended questions. These types of questions require more than just a yes or no answer and allow the conversation to flow more easily. For example, instead of asking if she's having a good time, which she could just say, yeah, right? Ask what brought her to the bar tonight, or what she likes about the venue. What brought you out tonight? What do you like about this place? The key is to find common ground and build on it through meaningful conversation. Next up is active listening. Active listening is crucial when trying to engage in conversation with anybody, not just women in bars. It means paying attention to what someone says and then responding appropriately, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. When you actively listen, you demonstrate that you're genuinely interested in what she has to say, and you're not just there for your own benefit. Take note of her body language and facial expressions as well, and it can give you insight on how she's feeling about the conversation. Sharing interesting stories about yourself can get the dialogue flowing, while also giving her the opportunity to get to know you better. And share stories that are going to capture her attention rather than mundane anecdotes about your day-to-day life. Perhaps you went on an adventure or saw something funny that happened recently. This is going to help you establish common ground between the two of you. It's also essential to avoid confrontational topics with casual strangers that you just met. They don't know you yet. Regardless of whether they're men or women, if you have confrontational topics show up, then you can get people's anger flared up. And if you don't know how to calibrate it correctly, you don't want to risk ruining the vibe and having all the work that you made a good impression get thrown out. So stick to topics like music, hobbies, and use those conversational skills to find the common ground between the two of you. Remember, it's always better to play it safe than sorry. Moving on to body language. Maintaining eye contact and not staring too intensely when approaching a woman at the bar is crucial. Maintaining that contact is crucial. Everybody looks down and breaks contact, and it screws up the tension between you, right? There's a fine line between making eye contact and staring too hard, though. Staring can make her feel uncomfortable or even intimidated. So be sure to maintain friendly eye contact without overdoing it. It's important to remember that eye contact shouldn't be the only focus of your attention. You should also pay attention to what she's saying and respond appropriately. A natural flow of conversation is much more important than locking eyes for an extended period of time. Your body language speaks volumes about your confidence level when approaching women in bars. Keep your posture relaxed by standing up straight and put your arms at your side, keep your head held high and your shoulders back. It's important to avoid fidgeting or nervous movements such as tapping your foot or playing with objects on the bar top. I had a guy who used to play with a straw all the time. Right? These actions can be super distracting and give off a vibe of anxiety or nervousness. If you keep a relaxed posture, you're going to appear confident, comfortable, and approachable. Next up is mirroring her body language to show interest. Mirroring someone's body language is an effective way to show them that you're interested in what they have to say. It involves mimicking their gestures, facial expressions, and even tone of voice. If you mirror her body language, it can create rapport by sending subconscious signals that you're on the same page with them, and it allows them to feel more comfortable around you. However, be careful not to overdo this tactic. If it becomes too noticeable, then it might come off as insincere and creepy. By mirroring her body language, you can create a connection that goes beyond words. It's a way to communicate that you're paying attention and engaged in the conversation without having to verbalize it. Approaching women in a bar can be an exhilarating experience, but it's important to know when it's time to gracefully end the conversation. Typically, if you feel like the conversation is dying down, or if she starts glancing around, or if she's looking at her phone, it might be time to wrap things up. You don't want to overstay your welcome and make her uncomfortable. When it's time to close the conversation, thank her for chatting with you and express that you enjoyed talking to her. If you feel like there was a genuine connection, ask her for their number or social media stuff so that you can stay in touch. Add her on Instagram or whatever. However, it's important to be respectful if she declines and not take it personally. Even if she doesn't give you her contact information, always leave on a positive note by saying something like, "It was great meeting you, have a great night." Asking for someone's contact information can be nerve-wracking, but if the conversation has gone well and there seems to be mutual interest between both parties, then go for it. Keep in mind that some women may prefer not to give out their personal information right away, and that's okay too. When asking for her number or Instagram, try to do so casually without putting too much pressure on her. You can say something like, "I'd love to chat more sometime. Do you mind exchanging numbers?" If she agrees, exchange contact information and then thank her before leaving on a positive note. Even if she doesn't give you her contact information or declines your invitation to talk more, then leave on a positive note. It shows maturity and respectfulness, which will leave a lasting impression on any woman. She might not want you, she might not be into you, the sparks might not have flown, but if there's anybody in the vicinity, they're going to see how you reacted. So don't be like, "Oh, well, fuck you, bitch, you were ugly anyway," right? I've seen that way too much. So if you're parting ways, just express that you're happy that you met her, and then you can share something specific, like you liked her sense of humor, or remind her of things like, "I like how you're into that music," or whatever you were talking about in the conversation. This is going to leave a positive impression and show that you generally enjoy talking to her. Remember, approaching women in bars can be nerve-wracking, but if done respectfully and confidently, it can lead to great connections. Just follow the best practices in approaching women in bars, and then you're going to be well on your way to success. I hear all the time that approaching women in bars can be super daunting, but it doesn't have to be. If you follow the best practices and you make a genuine connection with somebody, if you make the genuine connection with somebody new and then you potentially build a meaningful relationship, it's all going to be water under the bridge. Remember, first, preparation is key. Dress well, be well groomed, exude confidence. Next, approach with respect and make eye contact before starting the friendly conversation. Engage her in conversation by asking open-ended questions and avoid controversial topics so that nobody gets their feelings hurt. And then beware of your body language and know when it's time to gracefully end the conversation. Approaching women in bars may not always lead to success, but that's okay. It's all about putting yourself out there and gaining experience. The more you practice these best practices, the more comfortable you're going to become with approaching new people and striking up conversations. Remember that confidence is key. Even if the conversation doesn't go as planned, hold your head high and keep practicing. Ultimately, the most important thing is to approach women in bars with respect and authenticity. If you do so genuinely while following these tips, your chances of success will increase significantly. So, next time you're at a bar or a social event, take a deep breath, remember these best practices, and go talk to someone new. I'm Duke Delaet for the Intimacy Liberation Army, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay awesome.